Hello there and welcome. Thank you for joining us today. It is I, Leon from HKB, and with me I have my lovely co host, Shaz. Say hi, Shaz.
Hi.
And today we're introducing a new sub series of podcast, and we are very excited to have with us Andrew Amphlett from Amphlett Reviews. Say hi, Andrew.
Hello. How's it going, guys? How's it going?
Yeah, not bad. It's pretty good. So we're quite excited about this one, Andrew, because we had this idea of having a little bit of fun with all of our favorite people. And of course, we thought
Mm.
of you straight away because we
Oh,
love your
appreciate
channel.
that.
And we just thought you'd be the ideal person to because you game, and we just wanted to do some questions that we could use on any guest or victim, depending on your point of view. So we're calling it within the Asian cinema circle. So thank you
Wow.
for allowing Shaz and I to get within you today, Andrew. We
Yeah,
very much
I'm
look
happy
forward
to.
to this. And we'll start with question one. And then after that, Shaz will hit you with the first quick fire round. And then I will continue it on from there. Question two, which I find is going to be a fun aspect of this, is a rotating question. So we've picked the first one, but you will get the chance at the end of the episode to give us your question for the next victim, guest. So it should all be good fun.
Is the
And
series
here
going
we
to get slightly
go.
darker as we go along? Is it going to get more
It's
deranged
going
and
to get twisted, isn't it? And people won't
slightly
have the
found
chance for
footage?
revenge either. Okay, so number one, question one, Andrew. Please tell everybody about yourself and your channel. Promote yourself now. That's the first question.
Ooh, okay. How to sell myself? Okay, so my name is Andrew from Amphlett Reviews. I'm a Hong Kong cinema enthusiast and all-round cinema fanatic in general. I have been since I was younger. I've entered into the wonderful world of Asian cinema since COVID. That's when the origin of this started to happen, where I decided on a whim to buy a discount Blu-ray on Amazon of Police Story 1 and 2 from Eureka. And from that point, it changed everything. I would say it's lightning in a bottle film, bolt of energy, a whole new side of cinema, which I've not really seen much of up to that point, sticking with mainly kind of Western films and getting really a bit bored of just general cinema in general. And obviously, working so much during that point, having myself a lot of free time, I think Hong Kong cinema was maybe the right direction to go into or the wrong one, depending who you ask, I suppose. But it allowed me to get a lot of positivity during those many months. I would say home and diving into that well, just kind of getting to Jackie Chan films and having a lot of fun. So the channel is mainly reviewing Hong Kong cinema content, and the principle of it is to basically document Hong Kong cinema films for the very first time, providing honest experiences. I don't have any bias. I don't know, a lot of the time who these people are unless I've seen previous films of them or the director or the actors. So I'm going in saying this is what my opinions are and just being very open and transparent on it as well. So almost like a diary journey as well. For me, it's really good because it's almost like I'm learning more about foreign cinema, understanding more about different culture, from the food, the locations, and just getting really into that kind of rabbit hole of what these films were and the significance of them and different avenues they go into, um, learning more about these amazing action fight sequences, which I think I've been, blunted, for the longest time after seeing some of the Hong Kong cinema stuff. It's kind of like raised the bar to a whole new level. Also seeing their comedy, their food, exploring more of the culture as mentioned, and I'm also at the moment diving into some Japanese cinema, which I'm kind of experiencing that all over again for the first time, diving into that rabbit hole as well. But mainly Hong Kong cinema, doing some Japanese stuff and also some occasional Western movies here and there that I do explore, and collaborations, of course, with you guys. So that's the channel, and that's who I am. I'm just very honest, transparent, and yeah, I'll have a lot of fun talking about these amazing world of Hong Kong cinema.
And it shows as well. We
Yeah.
we love that you're absolutely fearless with putting your opinion out there, and it's really refreshing to see somebody attack it with that kind of honesty.
Mm.
And
And
no,
so enthusiastic.
yeah, the enthusiasm shows
Yeah.
through, and you don't feel like you've got to be a slave to what everybody else likes, which I really respect, because it's sometimes it's hard when you know there's a certain love for certain titles, and you feel like I don't want to say anything here because I'm going to get ostracized from the whole community.
Yeah.
Well,
But
the interesting thing is, yeah, I do say it's a first time viewing experience. Sometimes, like I can be
Mm.
wrong. Like there's things I've gone back to thinking, do you know what? I've always a little too harsh on that, or I didn't see it in that certain way, or some films I've really
Mm.
loved and I've not liked on the second viewing. So it does vary really, which is why it's always interesting seeing some of the comments on some of the older videos saying like, oh, you weren't
Mm.
around in the 70s, you don't appreciate. Well, I don't have to be around the 70s to appreciate it. I can enjoy it in
I don't know.
2025.
It's
It does make a
Exactly.
at the end of
difference
Yeah.
the
where
day.
when I
Yeah.
watched it. You know, it's kind of
That's it, isn't
interesting.
it? At the end of the day,
Exactly.
it's just your take,
How
your
you interpret
opinion.
it. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, Shaz, are you ready to give Andrew the first quickfire round of questions? Off you
Yes.
go.
Okay, Andrew, are you ready?
Yes, I
So,
am.
first up, excellent. What is your favorite flavor crisps?
McCoy's Flame Grilled Steak Crisps. I love them. They're great. Uh, they are the
What a
best.
Mm.
choice.
They're a good,
Yes.
good crisp, though.
That's a proper crisp, isn't
Yeah.
it?
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
like there's
no
nothing wrong with it.
messing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okie dokie. So, what about your favorite drink?
Pepsi, I'd say. Probably shouldn't be drinking
Mm.
as much, but I do, and I like it. It's something I do have, but I'm trying to weave off it much as I can.
Mm.
Is that straight Pepsi or Pepsi Max or just
Oh, straight
Pepsi?
Pepsi, yeah. Pepsi makes no point.
Mm.
There's
He
no point in
likes the
that.
original. He took the
The
Pepsi
full fat one.
challenge. He
Yeah.
took the Pepsi challenge, and it was like
Yeah, that's
just
it. That's
Pepsi.
it.
Okie dokie. So, next up is name a band you like.
One of my favorite bands I like is Pirates of the Fall. Seen them twice live, in one in Birmingham, one in Manchester, and they're great. They transcend in different mediums. They're in the Max Payne games. They recently were in Alan Wake 2 collaboration, and I love their music and I love their energy. They're great. Definitely recommend.
Mm.
Fantastic. Well, you have to send us a link to that later so we can check
Yeah.
out.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Cool.
brilliant.
Right. So, what is your most visited place?
It's probably a cop-out answer. I would say cinema. um,
Ah,
when there is films I'm genuinely curious to see. But I would say that's the most common place. Unless you count the bed, I don't know. No, cinema is definitely one of the main kind of locations I would say I go to. Absolutely for sure.
fantastic. I'm counting how many of these episodes it takes before somebody says the toilet. It's going to happen.
Okay. And what about your favorite fast food chain?
Pizza Hut, I definitely would say. I'm
Mm.
definitely a pizza man. I definitely love
All
my
right.
pizza. I would give a shout out though to, if you're ever in Manchester again, Street Guys. It's local in Manchester. It's up in Deansgate. They have some of the
Oh.
best burgers ever. I'm very particular with burgers. I don't think that the quality can go up and down various places, but Street
Mm.
Guys just perfect. Just if you want to get a solid burger for a really cheap price, yeah, I always go there.
We'll have to
Mm.
try that when we go up to
Ideal.
Manchester next.
Mm.
Maybe you can take us, Andrew, because
Yeah, yeah, it's
we
very
like
easy
a
to get
good
to.
burger, don't
Yeah,
we?
yeah.
Yeah,
Cool.
that'd be fantastic. Right. So we're going to move on now. And question number 2, as we said, is the rotating question. So we've been kind of nice on this, Andrew, but when you get to replace this, you can be as evil or as wicked as you want, or you can be as beneficent as you want. So this one for us, we just thought, we know you go to cinema a lot. So we just
Mhm.
would like to know, what is the last film you saw at the cinema?
Yeah, last film I saw in the cinema was Mickey 17. That was the last film I saw.
Wow.
Which was yeah, which was great. I loved it. If you're familiar with the director, Snowpiercer, the host, Parasite, um, it's kind of funny, studio throwing him lots of money because that film it's quite small scale but has a lot of money, which is great.
Mm.
And he probably won't get it again because it's not doing great in the box office. But
That's a shame.
the film is great. Yeah, it's just one of those films I don't think people know what it is or don't understand it.
Mm.
Which
Mm.
if you're a fan of that director, I think you'll click with it straight away. But it's kind of hilarious, but it's great. I loved it. I mean, I watching the Soul Out Scream. My partner loved it as well. So yeah, Mickey 17, absolutely recommend for sure.
Guess what we
Cool.
went to see last night?
What's that?
Mickey 17.
Ah, nice one. Did you like it or not like it? As I'm curious.
Oh, I liked it.
Mm.
What did you? What,
Yeah, I sort of preferred the first half.
yeah, we thought it was a film
Interesting.
with
A
two
lot of people say
Mm.
halves.
that because yeah, the third
Mm.
act, but that's just the nature of the director anyway. He always gets a bit
Mm.
bonkers and a bit crazy towards
Yeah.
his second half of his film. But yeah, I understand it.
Yeah, no, it's very good. Robert Pattinson knocks it out of the park, doesn't he? He's
So
Mm,
so
good,
good.
so good.
yeah.
Okay, so let's move on to number 3, and this will be one that will be a popular question, I feel, with everybody that comes on, because everybody can answer this. Right, name your favorite Jackie Chan movie, and also, additionally, one that you consider to be one of his most underrated films.
Yeah, I would say probably have to be a bit biased. I would say Police Story, the first one, because it's how it all started.
Hmm.
I saw Jackie Chan films obviously prior to that, but obviously Rush Hour, some of the Western films he did. But Police Story, I knew about it, never knew any of the scenes or anything, and it just kind of blew me away. And I was like, holy shit, how is he doing this stuff? And the story was great.
Mm,
The comedy was just like the whole scene with the phones. That was just, impeccable. And him doing the moonwalk randomly. It's just like Jackie Chan at his most peak and just firing at all cylinders. And I love that film. I think it's such a strong film. So yeah, I would say Police Story is definitely one of my favorites, and it probably always will be one of my favorites from Jackie Chan.
Great choice.
And with underrated one, I would definitely would say Shaolin Wooderman. I think that's the
mm,
one of the most underrated film of his. One, I think he has one of the best bad guys he's faced. Me and my friend quote the lines from that bad guy all the time, like "Hand over your life." It's just a great line. But Jackie is it's
Yeah.
interesting because it's one of his earlier ones, and for most of the film,
mm,
he's a mute. He doesn't say anything, so it's his performance is on a different level compared to something like a Police Story. And this is pre him getting big, like pre Junker Master, I believe, if I'm not
Hmm.
mistaken. So him just kind of almost carrying a film mute, silent, just like carrying performance, but having a strong supporting cast, quite a strong story, and it all builds up to an epic finale, which I loved. And yeah, just an incredible film. And I love the staging of it. I just love everything about it. The comedy was great. His performance is excellent. So yeah, definitely one I would recommend for
mm,
sure. Would have Shalom Woodham.
Fantastic.
mm.
That's one of your favorites, isn't it,
It
Shaz?
is, yeah. Yeah, I love it. Love the wooden men.
She loves the Weathermen. I love it too. It's actually one of my dad's favorites. I used to watch it
Oh,
with
nice.
him quite a lot on video. So yeah, and funny you mentioned those scenes in Police Story actually, because the scene with the telephones and the moonwalk, that was in the outtakes originally when it
Ah,
first got UK release on video, and it wasn't in the
Right.
film. I'm like,
Oh,
what the
really?
hell is
oh, okay.
this? So it
Interesting.
took quite a while before I saw it, because when I first saw it, it's like an 80-minute film. I'm like, "Oh, what?" But yeah, so yeah,
Interesting.
great
Oh.
choices. Absolutely love that. Okay, so we're going to question 4 now, and this is a bit more personal.
Mm,
Ah, out of all the different genres of Hong Kong
mm.
cinema, which is your personal favorite? Now, this will be
I did have
interesting.
a good think of this one because there's quite a few that I've dived into now since like Jackie Chan, going to Shaw Brothers, like Category Free stuff. The ones that I think I've enjoyed the most getting into, and I seem to have the most in the collection at the moment, is partially the heroic bloodshed movies and the crime thriller movies.
Mm,
Like Righting Wrongs, phenomenal. Johnny Toe is just one of my all-time favorites, and all of his crime thrillers are absolutely impeccable. Can't wait to see the next one. There's still quite a few I haven't
Excellent.
seen yet, but I do own a load of
mm,
crime movies from him. So yeah, a lot of I mean, Toad Cage, that was another good one as well. So just count, I can just knock them off one by one. But Heroic Bloodshed, crime thriller based movies, even Crime Story, which is Jackie Chan one
Kurt
did.
Long.
That
Yeah.
that was wow. That was another one like again another side of Jackie, darker film, more grittier. So yeah, I love the Hong Kong thriller. I mean, I think Hard Boiled and The Killer, and obviously the John Woo stuff is obviously some of the top games as well. So there's so many great directors, so many great stars,
Yeah.
wild range of
mm,
choices between the action, gunplay work, and traditional fighting. So it's just yeah, it's a very exploitative and lucrative
mm,
series of films to get into genre for films. Absolutely.
That's
yeah.
cool. Man after our own hearts there, Shaz.
Yep.
And yeah, Crime Story, absolute classic. How good is Kent Cheng in that? I mean,
Mm.
oh my God. He makes such a good character as that corrupt cop. Love him in that. Great film. Right, okay, number 5. This is just for a little fun. This
Mm.
doesn't have to be somebody in real life. It can be somebody on movies. But
Okay.
who who was your first childhood crush?
I'm not too sure about the films. I had to think about this one because I wasn't too sure character-wise, or have a deep think. But like I'd say, the ones that I've put my answers down for, I'd say when I was younger, I'd say definitely Billy Piper and Doctor Who. That was one that I really
Okay.
liked, and obviously like it was a big crush. She's obviously gorgeous
Mm.
and a phenomenal character in Doctor Who as well as Rose Tyler. One of the
Mm.
ones that I grew up with the most that I did have a crush on, and I thought was just again phenomenal actress, but also just really attractive and had some great films was Gina Davis from The Long Kiss Goodnight and The Fly. Countless films. I thought she was one that I grew up with a lot, seeing a lot of her films. So I thought she was definitely like, wow, this is a big crush on that one. But yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
All right.
that's cool.
Mm.
I got a little funny story I can cap onto that actually, because
Mm,
like yourself, Andrew, I did kind of like Gina Davis, and
mm.
where I used to work, there was a girl when I was younger that looked just like Gina Davis,
Oh wow, wow, wow.
and yeah, I had a bit of a crush on her. And me being me, I tried to woo her, like maybe like Sammo Hung style. And I remember trying to ask her out, and she said, "We work in the same place, Leon, so it's probably not practical." And I'm like, "We work in a place where 5,000 other people work." I said, "And we work at opposite ends of this huge factory." I said, "So if you just don't want to go out with me, say I don't want to go out with you." And she said, "I don't want to go out with you,
Mm.
Leon." I'm like, "Okay." And my mate like laughed in my face and is like, crushed. I was like, "Yeah." And me being a little immature dick sort of said, "Well, she's probably gay, isn't she?" And the funny thing was, yeah, that I had my sister talking to her in the gym, local gym. And as it
Mm.
turned out, many, many years later, one of her friends started working with me in the place I work now. And I relayed this story to her, and she said, "No wonder she didn't go out with you." She said, "Wrong team, Leon." And so I was then on the phone to my friend that evening. I told you she was gay.
Remember it like so every
But
crush,
yeah, how that works out all those years later, so funny. Anyway, let's get past that and my stupidity. I apologize for. We'll get on to question 6. Tell us who is the individual, the person that is responsible for getting you into film.
I'd say probably the men in the Amphlett family. Like probably my dad, my uncle, my granddad. They were the three I would say that were influencing on films for me. Definitely for sure. Well, I watched a lot of films with my granddad. He got me into all the good ones like Aliens and like Misery, The Thing, and all that stuff.
Good
And this was
stuff.
like VHS. This is like I was just on the end of VHS going into more DVD, so I definitely experienced those different changes in physical media. But you
Mm.
definitely showed some of the ones that he really liked. He was all around like loved war movies and like thrillers and things like that. So he knew the ones to show me, which ones he didn't show me. My uncle is about 10 years older than me, so he showed me some of the more interesting ones, the more risky ones like Scream, things like that kind of thing. And obviously my dad showed me a couple of ones as well. So I had an all-round kind of influence, and then obviously my own personal taste developed as alongside with my own
Mm.
friends, and then just trying what I had access to at the time as well. So we did have a local video store when I used to live in Wellington. It wasn't a Blockbuster, it was just like a private rental video rental store that you could just pick up a couple of films here and there, which was great. So yeah, I would say they're the influences, and then just informing my own taste as I go along, and then seeing things in cinemas with friends, and then obviously school, college, all that kind of stuff. So yeah, I'd definitely say the men's side were definitely with the influences of the family.
That's fantastic. It's always good to
Mm.
get, I think everybody gets a lot from the family, don't they?
Yeah.
And you obviously got a lot from me as well. Ha ha
Yeah.
ha. Right.
By
Okay, we've got a
force.
challenge for you.
Yeah.
Yeah. A challenge for you on number 7. We have to guess this. So we would like you to hum us the tune to one of your favorite TV shows of all time. And we'll just see if we can guess it. So
I
take
don't
it
think
away, Andrew.
I don't think you'll be able to, and this is going to be very embarrassing, probably. I'll just even try and do it. Okay. Dun 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 boom 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 do boom 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 boom. Yeah, that's the best I got.
Han, any
I'm
idea?
not
You're
sure.
not sure?
Depends if you
No.
watch the show. Is the question really?
Hmm.
If you watch it,
Give us a clue.
it was a big hit show during the late 80s. It had a film and it had a comeback.
Hmm.
No, I don't know. I mean, I can think of things that had films and how to come back, but I don't think I don't. We failed miserably, Andrew. And unless you want to sort of go through it again and maybe give it some drumming on the table. Just kidding. Put us out of our misery then,
Yeah,
and then
well,
I'll give you one then.
no worries. It's Twin Peaks. Twin Peaks is the opening tune of Twin
Ah,
Peaks. It's
yeah,
the
I
opening
didn't. I
intro.
didn't watch it. I
If you never
didn't
watched
watch
it,
it.
yeah,
That's why I
you
didn't
might
get
not.
it.
No, of
No,
course
no,
not.
I don't think I did. No,
Do you want to do one?
no.
Should I do it?
Yeah, you can.
Okay. Let me just think. What's my favorite? What about the one you did earlier? You did that really well.
Really?
Yeah, go on. You go with that. That's quite easy.
Apart from it's going to sound awful.
It doesn't matter. Go ahead.
Da 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 da. I can't remember the rest of it now. Go on.
Is that enough?
Yeah.
Da, 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 da,
Just ring
da,
a bell.
da, 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 da. No? He's just getting me back now. He's trying to make me do it more. This ain't far. Star Trek, but everybody's gonna leave in the comments now.
Okay.
I want freaking Star Trek. What you on about?
It almost sounded like, for some reason, Casualty then for a second. Remember
Yeah. Okay. Right. Swiftly moving on. I think we can leave this section behind us now. And number 8. And this would be interesting because I think we talked about this a little earlier. But could you recommend us a podcast outside of the ACC? And when I say the ACC, I just mean the core group in our chat.
Yeah,
So some podcasts other than that. Yeah.
Okay, outside of it all, not including yourself, and of course the Might Avengers, which the guys are doing. I'd say ones that I do listen to when I get a chance is Fail Better with David Duchovny from the X Files. I do listen to his
Right.
podcast. He's really good. He's very transparent, honest. He's always talking about living through our failures. Our failures are just as important as our successes, and he speaks to other people and has different kind of conversations that you wouldn't usually get. And that actor's been through quite a bit, and he's talked about it, been quite honest, transparent within his books and his podcast. So, and obviously, I love him as Mulder in X Files, so it's always good. One that I do watch quite a bit is Inside of You with Michael Rosenbaum.
Michael Rosenbaum.
Yeah, which is
Oh,
brilliant.
you like that one as well, didn't you?
I
Yeah.
love his podcast.
He's good.
His interviews are great.
Well,
and he focuses on mental
that's
health,
kind
which
of
I really appreciate. And
yeah.
and he asks some interesting questions, which I like. Obviously, doing the Talkville as well, which I also do watch at the moment as well, which is great.
Yeah. I bet you guessed that
Cool.
I'd listen to Michael Rosenbaum one because obviously he says, "Thank you for letting me get inside of you today," and I'm here. I am caught with my pants down, saying, "Thank you for allowing us to be within you." Sorry, Michael, for ripping you off. But
Just
yeah,
get
no, he's
copyright
good.
stuff.
Shaz, when we first met and started dating, I looked a bit more youthful, and I didn't have a beard and whatnot. She went home and said to her dad, "Didn't you, Dad? The guy I met dating, he looks like Lex Luthor." And her dad was like, "What did he say?"
Well, he thought he was thinking of Gene Hackman.
Yeah.
That's got nice compliments still. Still nice compliments.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I love Gene Hackman. We love Gene
Yeah,
Hackman, don't
yeah.
we? We do love Gene Hackman. But yeah, it
My
was.
dad hadn't seen Smallville,
He
to
hadn't
be
seen
fair.
Smallville, so yeah, that is a massive compliment though. So thank you, Shaz, for that. Anyway, I don't think I ever said thank you for that, but thank you. Yeah. Okay, number 9, Andrew. What is the craziest thing that you've ever done?
I don't know. I think the answer might be a bit boring for me. Honest, I'm not too sure. I'm just like I don't know to define crazy, I suppose. But I think the only thing that really comes to mind, my experience anyway, is moving from a small town to a big city like Manchester, mainly for love, and that was a big choice. I've always grew up in Telford, which is a place in obviously the UK, which is always wanted to get out, but like never did, and I probably would still be there if I ever met my partner. So took a big leap, saved up, and said, you know what, I've known this person for about a year, and let's move in. Let's do it. Let's take a risk, and that's changing jobs, changing location. She's been living in Manchester for quite some time, thinking, you know what, it's a big change for me. and it was a good choice, good step, and I think I'm very happy I did it, and it's definitely worked out very well. So I think that was
Yeah.
one of the craziest things I've done, but like probably not as much compared to some other people, probably.
No,
Absolutely.
I'd say that's pretty huge actually. That's
Yeah.
a big thing to do. It's so hard to pick up
Mm.
roots, isn't it, and move. So,
Mm.
yeah,
Yeah.
thank you for that. That's a cool answer as well. I really like that. Right, number 10. If you could go anywhere now, where would you most like to go on holiday? If you could just pack your bags now and go straight away, wherever you wanted.
Oh, wherever I wanted, I would.
Mm,
Ooh, okay, different answer what I got. So I definitely like to see the US at some point, but maybe not at the moment with everything going on. So put that on the
mm,
back burner. I don't know. Definitely want to see the Netherlands, Switzerland, those kind of locations. There's definitely a few of those are definitely for sure. Um, Me and my partner actually are going for the very first time to Egypt end of the year, which is going to be quite, I think,
Oh,
adventurous
nice.
one.
Mm.
So this will be my
nice.
very first abroad holiday, which is great because I've never actually been abroad before. Never been
Yeah.
able
All
to.
right.
So that's a
Right.
big deal
Oh,
for me. So yeah,
yeah.
there's
Mm,
ones that I would love to go to if the money opportunity comes around, if everything's
Mm.
stable, everything works with everything going on from last year. But yeah, I think each is the one I'm looking forward to the most. It's the one that I've, first abroad holiday, and I've never been there before, and I would think it's going to be a whole adventure and something to experience for sure. So yeah, Egypt is definitely the one that I want to go on now and make sure this happen. Definitely for sure.
absolutely. That's awesome. That's awesome. Are you going to get to see the pyramids?
Yes, so I think the idea is staying at the hotel. We've got 2 weeks booked off, so we're making doing like a week and a bit of it. So we're definitely going big, go big or go home kind of thing.
Nice.
So see
Yeah.
pyramids, doing what's it name, night gazing. I think we're doing some like bungee driving. I think there's all sorts of activities we've got and a few days in between to relax, but definitely
Lovely.
going to see the big sites for sure. So yeah, it's going to be
Oh,
Oh,
really fun.
wow.
fantastic.
Yeah,
That's going to be,
amazing.
once in a lifetime thing. That's fantastic.
Yeah, absolutely.
Great.
I don't think we'll be able to do it again after this. So we'll see. We'll see. I don't know how
Okay.
people can do like
Nice.
3 or 4 holidays a year. I genuinely don't know. But
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
this one
It's
is
a
a
lot of
long
money in
overdue.
it.
Yeah,
Mm.
long overdue
That's
holiday.
fantastic. Well, I hope
Yeah,
you guys
brilliant.
really
Yeah.
enjoy that.
Yeah.
Now I'm going to hand you over to Shaz again for the quick fire round 2. Take it away, Shaz.
Okay. Andrew, are you ready?
I am ready.
Okay. Okay, so beer or wine?
Between the two, beer.
Okay. Okay.
Yep.
Biscuits or cake?
Cake. I definitely like cake.
Coffee or tea?
Tea. I don't like coffee.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Okay.
Coffee's not for
What
me.
about well no, it's yeah, I don't
It's something that you either like or you don't like in it.
I
yeah,
tried
yeah.
mockers. I've tried all sorts. It's never gelled with me.
Doesn't
I've
it?
worked more with tea than I have
Mm.
over coffee.
Okay. Noted. We know.
Do you prefer cats or dogs?
I do like both. It's very hard to choose. I'd say I have cats at the moment. 3 cats, so I'd say cats. But I grew up more with dogs, so I've had to flip of the two
Okay.
over the years. But at the moment, I'd say cats because they are easy to maintain for the most part, and they are adorable.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
yeah,
You're in the
Yeah.
good books with Shaz now. She's definitely a cat person, aren't you? But I like both. I'm like yourself. I'm in the middle.
Right. So next up, Scarlett Johansson or Margot Robbie?
I'd say Margot Robbie.
You owe
Absolutely.
me a tenner.
Uh,
You owe me a tenner.
yeah, she's since the Wolf of Wall Street onwards, just fantastic performer, actress, and just amazing.
Yeah.
And then
Mm.
obviously pretty striking, pretty going all out in Wolf of Wall Street as an introduction film. So yeah,
Yeah.
set the bar high.
She's we
Yeah.
went to see Barbie at the cinema. I actually quite enjoyed it.
Yeah, yeah, me
Mm,
too. Yeah.
Not for me,
mm.
but okay.
Oh.
I didn't do anything for me. But I liked Oppenheimer. I did the whole Barbie and Oppenheimer experience, and so that was a fun
Well,
night.
yeah, that's it. You've done it. That's
Oh
cool.
yeah, yeah. I couldn't help being biased because, I used to play with Barbies when I was little.
I can't say the same.
Okay, so Japanese or Korean films?
I'll say Korean films. I've had more experience with Korean films. Like I think Korean films are higher quality, really for the most part. Like I think before I got into Asian cinema properly, it was French cinema. I did dip my toe into it a little bit, and more Korean films. So I've watch more Korean films than I have Japanese. Japanese I'm just getting into now, but there is
Yeah.
a sense of rinse and repeat a lot of the time, which I'm still exploring
Mhm.
more.
Mm.
Korean films, just some like Old Boy and Lady Vengeance. There's like a massive collection of just extraordinary titles from Korean cinema, and they do not care. They do not hold back at all, which I love.
Oh no.
Mm.
Yeah, something you just don't
Yeah, they're
get
good.
within a lot of cinema.
No, for sure. Okay, so crucial question here.
Mm.
Star Trek or Star Wars?
You missed one.
Oh, yeah,
That is
sorry.
crucial too.
Yeah. Well, let's go with that one first. Star
Okay.
Trek or Star Wars?
Okay, I'd say of the two because I have been a fan of both, and my opinion up until now, I would say Star Trek is the best quality in terms of I like the
Mm.
movies more. There's more shows I like. I don't like the current state of Star Trek, unfortunately, but I liked the last season of Picard. I thought that was
That
true and
was
Yeah.
killer,
excellent.
wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't like the first two
Yeah.
seasons of Picard, but the last season was excellent, and I think there's still a lot of room to improve and get back into the movies with Star Trek. With Star Wars, it's kind of a sinking ship for me. It's kind of like I've just kind of done. I don't know what they're doing. There's no direction. It's all over the place. So yeah,
Mm.
Star Trek I
Yeah.
think is best quality uh, for
We
movies. And
100% agree. 100% agree on that one.
And isn't it all based on science fact? I'm always going on about this, aren't I?
Yeah, we started something now. I knew this would be a stupid question. No, sure. Go ahead. Go ahead,
No,
Shaz.
it's fine. Right, okay. So the one I missed out, which again, like you say, is very crucial.
Mm.
Superman 1 or Superman 2?
I would say for me, Superman 2, the Richard Donner cut. I think that is just excellent. I love Superman 1, I do. But I
Mm.
prefer Superman 2 and specifically Richard Donner cut. I just think they've kind of that relationship between Lois and Clark and the journey they go on to. I think that General Zod is great. Gene Hackman's is better, even
Mm.
better performance he did in the first one. He's more in it as well, which is good. I just like that
Mm.
film ultimately more than the first one, but I do appreciate the first film for what it did and
Yeah.
what it achieved at the time.
Mm.
But yeah, Superman 2, Richard Donner cut.
That's a good
Oh,
answer.
brilliant.
Good
Yeah,
answer. That.
cool. Okay, so another biggie question here. John Woo or Ringo Lam?
I'd say John Woo. Has to be John Woo. Just better body of work overall.
Mm.
I've had ups and downs with Ringo Lam, but I've seen more of his better films over the years, like Burning Paradise. But I think with John Woo, every single film I've watched of him has been bang, 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 bang. And being the fact
Mm.
they potentially now going to get those proper restored 4Ks potentially from Shout Factory for next year, that's quite
Thank
exciting.
you.
That's going to be. I never thought it would happen. It's the Holy Grail. It's one of the last ones left. So yeah, that's John Weir absolutely, and I think they're doing the new cut of Hero Shed No Tears, if I'm mistaken, from '88.
Yeah,
The
88.
actual,
Yeah.
so that's going to be
Yeah.
quite exciting to see what that cut is restored. So yeah, John Weir absolutely.
Yeah, I've got to agree with you on that one. And yeah, also I got to say, and it's going to sound like bullshit, but I did think they'd come out. I always believe that there's always a way, especially for the big titles. And as it's been growing over the last few years, I thought it's got to happen. It's got to happen. It's going to make money, whatever.
I think
Yeah.
it's because
So,
of when I got into the Hong Kong cinema, I think it started off the movement with '88 and all these other players coming
mm,
into it, all these distributors coming in, and I think again something like Sharp thinking, yeah, we can spend a lot of money, make a lot of money back. So yeah, it was a matter of time, but they had to be. It's proof of concept, It was selling. It was
yeah.
selling. It was doing well. Okay, let's do it.
Mm.
So
Okay. So this is going to be a divisive one, isn't it? The last one.
The last one. Okay. So Jackie Chan or Sammo Hung?
again, I have to be a bit biased. I have to say Jackie Chan. I like. I've watched bulk of his films from the COVID onwards. I think it's a better collection of films. I think Sammo Hung has some excellent films, and there's other ones I love. But I think Jackie has the better library. Ultimately, there's only a handful, I would say, of Jackie that I don't like as much. But I say ultimately Jackie
Mm.
Chan is the winner for me.
Well, we
Mm,
kind of guessed
cool.
that, didn't we? We thought. Okay. Number 11. Name the film that you would most like to see a remake of?
Tough one. I did ever think about it. I wasn't too sure what the best answer would be, or I was thinking of what could be a good remake. I'll probably have a better answer later, but the one that came to mind straight away was Highlander, saying it correctly.
Oh, yeah.
I have a bit of a back and forth with the original. Like, it's one that I watched when I was younger, and I've watched it quite a few times. I've watched it when I was an adult. So I've watched it constantly. It's one of those films I just never really clicked with me. Like, I like there's a lot of stuff I like in it. There's a lot of stuff I don't like in it, and I think there can be a better version of that film. And it seems like they are remaking it soon. It seems there is talks of a potential remake with Henry Cavill, Superman, playing the
Oh,
role, which
nice.
is great, great choice. And apparently they might be using the same music from Queen, which is great. So there's a lot to like in that first film, but I just think there could be a better version ultimately. Yeah, so Highlander is definitely one I think deserves a remake, fresh reboot, and kind of put it back on track, because the direction they took it in after, from the sequels to the TV show, it's like they just didn't know what they're doing with that series and that IP. So I think that would be a good remake to get into, and for modern fans as well.
Yeah, I agree. The concept was there, but the execution wasn't quite what
It's
it
No.
could have been.
flimsy, yeah, very flimsy.
Hmm. Okay, question 12. Which television show, in your opinion, was cancelled too early?
So a few different answers in this one. Like, I think it's funny enough, a lot of the shows that I really enjoyed over the years, I've all come back. They've been cancelled and they've actually made a return in some way. Like, I mentioned with Twin Peaks, got into that, and then they did a movie. Then they did the Return series. Firefly did a movie, of course, later on. Daredevil's recently come back in a big way, which is cool. Um,
Mm.
the shows that haven't, which I definitely would think would be good for like a reboot or continuation of some kind. I think the one that's came to me straight away that annoyed me the most is Santa Clarita's Diet on Netflix. I don't know if you've ever watched that. I think it's definitely up your alley, for
Mm.
sure. It's very funny. Um, it's it's a comedy show. Basically his wife turns into a zombie, and they have to kind of
Right.
hide it. It's like a suburban neighborhood kind of real estate couple, and then there's a virus happens, and then it's basically she's likes to eat people, and that's it. That's the concept, and it's just a really funny idea, and it gets a bit wild as the show goes along, but it ends on a big cliffhanger, and they never picked
Yeah,
it up,
All
and they still
right.
haven't. And it's like there's been talks of a movie, there's been talks of continuing it. And
yeah.
it's like, come on. Out of all the shows I've come back since, that's the one that hasn't, and I think that's definitely one for sure.
Oh.
I'd
Right.
say,
That's another one you're gonna have to send us the link to afterwards.
yeah, absolutely. You definitely love it. You would blast through it. It's very easy to watch. And another one that I
Excellent.
really like, just to kind of cap off that one, is Millennium, which is the X
Oh
Files
yeah,
spin-off.
Lance
Yeah,
Henriksen was in that.
yeah,
Hmm.
brilliant. 3 seasons, phenomenal. I know they did the episode in the X Files where they kind of capped it off, but there's definitely is another series in there, or a movie, for sure. And they did do a
Yeah,
documentary after the fact, with all the cast and crew, everyone, basically saying, if you like the show, please talk about it. 'Cause we could do another one. So I mean, it's another like late '90s show that definitely deserves a proper
yeah.
ending. That hasn't got it
That
yet as of yet. So they're
would
the
be
ones I would
nice.
say.
Would be nice.
Hmm.
Great. Okay, number 13. Of all the Blu-ray labels out there, which one do you have the most of?
I did have a look.
How many discs?
I think the
Hmm.
overwhelming one I'd say is gonna be Arrow Video. I just looking at the shelf straight away, I just see the Arrow label on every single title almost. Have the most. I think because they have the most range. I think they've dived into
Yeah.
everything
Yeah.
from like
Mm.
Asian cinema to like
Snap.
sci-fi, horror,
Mm.
thrillers. Even Deep Blue
It's a
Sea is the
great
one
label.
coming up on Monday. So they're diving into the Warner Brothers vaults recently. So that will add more to the collection. So yeah, Arrow Video is
Nice.
the one.
Oh.
Yeah, they're so good, aren't they? We love it when we see that A come up on the screen with the
Yeah.
yeah. It's just so warming. Okay, name one thing on your bucket list.
It's one that I've already partially given answer to already. I'd say is going abroad for the first time. As mentioned, I'm actually finishing off my passport application, so that's hopefully being done soon. So I'm getting that for the very first time, and yeah, just going to the board. I've never been on a plane. I've never gone anywhere, and it's just been a series of circumstances, or just not having the money, or not having the opportunity to really do it. Really, so it's one that's long overdue. I mean, I'm 31, about to turn 33, no, 32, sorry, soon. So I think it's definitely long overdue, and looking forward to doing it as a one definitely on the bucket list for sure. At least going abroad at least once in my life. you know.
Yeah, Excellent. That's a good one. Right. Number 15. In your opinion, what is one movie that everybody should watch?
I've got a few different answers. Just to kind of cap it off a little bit, there is one I'd say that I really enjoy growing up and even now still watching is K-Pax. It's just Kevin Spacey, Jeff Bridges, just a great film based on a book. Very wholesome, very light. It's a very light film. It's a very nice film. It definitely has built some tension towards that third act, which I really like. But simple story. It's a case of is basically this person is he a traveler from the stars or is he crazy? And that's it. The most of the film is set within this
Right.
kind of sailing asylum, and basically he is saying like constellations, and he's saying these weird kind of things. And Jeff Bridges' character is trying to determine is this person actually a traveler from the stars or is he just cuckoo essentially, and that's the film builds up towards that, and it gets more interesting as it goes along. And then some things he's saying is a bit scary, and it's great. It's a very good drama. It's a very nice film, and it gets really intense, and the music is cinematography is perfect. I love it. It's one of the films I recommend for sure. Another one I would say, just capping off on that as well, is What About Bob? Bill Murray. If you
Oh,
haven't
Bill Murray. Yeah.
Yeah, I love that film. So funny. I watch it constantly. It has not got a Blu-ray release as of yet, which is annoying. So I have to stick on that old DVD. But it's a film that I've shown to everyone, and everyone thinking, "Why have I not seen this? Why is no one talking about it?" Just one of those kind of little hidden comedies that I don't think
Yeah.
is available really. It's not on the streamings. It's not easy access.
Right.
But it's just a
Yeah.
film that
I
I
haven't seen it
absolutely love.
since video days.
I
Was
mean, I
it
guarantee.
Richard Dreyfuss? Was it Richard
Yes,
Dreyfuss with him?
yeah,
Yeah.
it's
Right.
another kind of like odd couple kind of thing as well. Where it's like, Bill
Mm.
Murray's character is starts off as a bit more of a um, he has like certain conditions, the kind of thing. He can't go out the house. He hyperventilates, and he slowly gets better as the film goes on. While Richard Dreyfuss' character slowly declines in his mental health. So it's kind of like an
Yeah.
opposite. It's really fun. It's really great, and there's some good lines in there that I again quote quite often to people, which is great.
Have you
One
seen
I
that one,
recommend
Shaz?
if you can find the DVD really cheap, but you'd watch
Yeah.
and you'll love it.
Yeah.
And I'll
Have you seen it?
just
I don't think so.
Mm.
recommend
Yeah.
it. It's
K-Pax, we haven't
Oh,
seen, have
okay.
we?
No.
So
Oh, what?
we'll
Two
K-Pax is on
definitely.
recommends then.
Amazon
Yeah.
Amazon Prime. You can watch that and on the HD versions, which you can do.
Oh,
What
good.
about Bob? I don't
Mm.
think you can only get that on DVD. I think it's just one of those really hard
Right.
ones.
We'll
But
have a look.
yeah,
Mm.
recommend it if you
We have
get a
our
chance.
sources.
Ah,
We have our sources. It's a good
and
thing with doing what we do is people are always there to help you, aren't they? So
Track something
yeah,
yeah.
down.
absolutely. Just if you enjoyed me a bit more, two more films I would recommend just on things I think people should watch, or at least once. One is Flight of the Navigator, which is one of my personal favorites. I
Yeah, you
love
Yeah,
like
Flight
I
of the
that.
love that
Yeah.
Navigator.
one.
Timeless
Yeah.
film, just great. Doesn't matter, what decade you watch that film in. It's
Mm.
so great. It's still funny. I love it. And then the last one that I watch quite often, my partner gets really annoyed at me because I keep trying to get to watch it, is The Founder. The Founder, Michael Keaton. Um,
Oh
Is
yes,
it's
that about
the
McDonald's?
McDonald's. Yeah.
it's a
Yeah.
Yeah.
weird thing. I don't care about the story of McDonald's. I really couldn't care less. But
Mm.
that performance and the way that film is presented and put together,
Mm.
and just about the idea of
Mm.
something as a multinational company like McDonald's can be bought and sold by basically a
Mm.
thief, is just
Yeah.
Mm.
baffles me, and just it's really interesting,
Yeah.
and it's such a well made
Yeah.
film, and I can watch it so
Yeah,
easily,
it's a
and
cracker, that, isn't it?
Mm.
amazing
It's my
film. So yeah,
nephew recommended that to us, wasn't it?
they're
Yeah.
the ones I
Yeah.
recommend if you haven't seen them.
Some
Cool.
really good stuff there.
Yeah.
So all you
Brilliant.
guys watching this, get your pens out, write this stuff down because you're gonna want to see it. Okay. What's the next one? Yeah. Number 16. Tell us about your best cinema experience ever. Please keep it clean here because we can go off the rails here.
Okay, I wonder what cinemas you've been to. Okay, interesting. Um, okay, the ones I would say it's probably a cop-out answer. Maybe I'm not too sure, but I'd say just in terms of a cinema experience, regardless of the content itself, I'd say is the Avengers Double Bill, the last two movies. At the time, I was working at the cinema. I managed to
Mm.
pre-book that date off in advance. It was a really strong day overall for many reasons. One, because me and my partner did a charity kind of bake sale, there, so we were raising money for charity. So my partner did some cakes before watching that double bill, which is awesome. So it went down really well. It was a complete packed cinema, and we watched the first two, and obviously the very first time showing of the End Game in cinemas, and it was just a good like cinema experience. Like I don't think I've experienced anything quite like it, and obviously the Marvel content's gone a bit downhill since then. I think personally, but I think at the time of 10 years building up to something like that, with everyone there inside it, just screaming and shouting, laughing, everyone just being in the same space. It was, and I think this was just before COVID hit. I think personally as well. So I think it's a strange how cinema got one of the best cinema experiences you could have with everyone, whether you're a fan or for first time watching, and then obviously everyone being shut down after. It's kind of like a interesting whiplash. But I would say definitely. I'll tell the story if you're happy to indulge me a little bit more on it.
Please do.
Yeah, carry on.
When we did the charity bake sale, the cinema were also doing a raffle as well at the same time, so we included it with it. We put like £1 in just to kind of kick it off, and it was to win like this big, massive like IMAX poster, like just for the exclusive for the event. So just before they did the two double bill showings, they announced the raffle, and we won it. It's like
Oh,
us,
nice.
us. So
Great.
the person came up and saying, "It is Andrew who won it, right?" Yeah. So okay, yeah. So we run that big poster, just on a £1 raffle, just throwing it in, and it's like
Oh,
me
cool.
and my partner were gobsmacked.
Nice.
Like, what? Like, okay, we definitely weren't expecting that.
Yeah.
So
That's
yeah,
cool.
it was a really strong day. The charity bake sale, good for charity, and then winning the big poster, and then having that similar experience with everyone in there, with all the cries and laughter, and the energy. I think it was. I haven't had an experience since then. Really, that strong, that level. I think in a while.
Yeah, that's cool.
That's cool.
That is really cool. Okay, now for some more cool. Number 17. Tell us about a fight scene that completely blew you away.
It's quite a few. Obviously, I don't want to mention Police Story again, because I think I've mentioned that a few times. But I'd say the ones that actually have blew me away, and ones that I was not expecting. It was funny enough watching the first IP Man movie for the first time. Watched it on Netflix when it was on initially, and I knew about it. I knew Donnie Yen. I didn't know. You said funny from the description, it said biographical film, which it is. But it's like, okay, this is gonna be more of a drama. Okay, cool. Watched it. Oh my god, the action and the fight scenes is outstanding. Like just from the introduction, the first scene when you have that kind of playful fighting, environmental stuff, and you just kind of get a little taste of Donnie Yen's kind of brilliance, and then when you get to that dojo sequence when he's mega pissed and he's breaking people's arms and smashing people's faces, it's like, whoa, it just kind of elevated. It just went to a whole new level, and his fighting is brutal and he's fast, and it's I love the IP Man movies, but that first one completely blew me away. Specifically the dojo scene in that first film, I was not expecting it, and it's like, holy crap, this is great. And I'd say our second one, just on top of that, is I'd say the fight sequences within Dragons Forever, the whole factory sequence, all of that is outstanding. Me and my friend always reference the pancake fold, which I'll show you. I'll send you the
Yeah,
clip for. You might know what it is, but yeah, it's just when
yeah.
someone completely folds in half. It's like that person's probably broke his back
Some
or
you
stunned.
you abuse kick
Oh.
in it. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
like,
yeah, that's
oof.
it. It's just like slow
Oh.
motion. It's nasty. It's like that person can't be still walking, surely. And just like insane. So yeah, they're the
I
ones
think
that
Billy
really blew me
Chow
away.
must have been doubled for that because how the
Yeah,
hell
could
else
be.
he's
Doubled
filming?
by who?
I don't know, but
A
yeah,
dummy.
yeah.
I mean,
Some
he looked
lunatic.
like Ragdoll. He didn't look like a real person. I mean, like, sure, he didn't
Oh,
look like it
gosh.
anyway. Didn't have any bone marrow left after
Oh.
that.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, we're due
Yeah.
for
Oh,
rewatch of
pain.
that. We haven't watched it for a while, have we?
No,
Yeah,
no.
great film.
Mm,
Okay, so following on from that, question 18. This is gonna be a tricky one. I think people are gonna struggle with this.
mm.
I mean, I would struggle with it myself. But in your opinion, what is the sexiest movie scene of all time?
I'm just trying to think of like because I was trying to think of what defined that question really was like actual like sex scene or sexiest films. I was trying to think of a few different examples in my mind.
It could just
Um,
be the most provocative, like sexy. Like it doesn't have to
yeah,
be like a sex scene. It could just
yeah.
be
Just, there's a few that
you
came to
feel the
mind.
chemistry.
Which probably the obvious one a lot of people will say is the True Lies scene with Helen scene, that everyone's going to think of that straight away because it is a good
Yeah.
scene and it's a good build up.
Yeah.
I do like that scene even from younger, even now still. I'd say two that I kind of wrote down. One that made a big impression that I thought was hot, but also creatively funny as well, and just great is the Watchmen scene and the sex scene in that, where basically Night Owl and the Silver
Oh
Spectrum
yes,
go
there's
out.
many.
Because
Yeah.
yes, and they had, prior to that they couldn't really do anything. They kind of weren't feeling it, so they went out, basically kicked some bad guys, heads in, and had a great scene. I think it was a Johnny Cash song, and it was a very well shot sequence. And then they topped it off with to show the point of impact of hitting a button and fire coming out. I was like, okay, that's brilliant. I love that. I think it was really funny, really well creative, really well put together shot. Um, and just to kind of the last one on that, I would say is something that I always joke about is the Charlie's Angels Full Throttle, the burlesque scene. I think that's that's
Yeah.
that tests you. That tests your sexuality. I think that scene does. It's very
Yeah.
very strong. Yeah, very strong scene.
Yeah.
So yeah, they're the ones
Excellent.
they come to mind.
Cool. That's good answers. And yeah,
Yeah.
I don't think Jamie Lee Curtis is a lot better than in that scene with
Right.
Arnold. Absolutely fantastic. Okay, number 19. We're getting down to the last few now.
Hmm.
And this one, I know you're going to have a good answer for this because I know my man here, he knows his horror films. Which horror movie is the one that most messed with your head?
Okay, well, a few different answers again on this one. If you don't mind me asking it.
Mm,
One that definitely is, I'd say, is one of the messed up films I do have in my collection. The one that is the one that I really like. I even say like my partner's never watching it. I would never subject to this film. I like it for a very cathartic experience. But it's a very strong film as well. It's Martyrs, which you may or may not seen. French
No, I
film.
won't say.
Oof.
Hmm.
Yeah, just brace yourself if you do what. It's not a nice film. It's a very nasty film, but the journey is quite I, I want to say rewarding. I don't know. I think the subject is very interesting. I'll give you the basic premise. It kind of starts off with kids being basically killed and there's people being kidnapped. One girl escapes from a very nasty experience, basically being tortured and seeing people dying and all that. Basically, her and her orphan friend track down the people that basically kidnapped her and did this. And basically, we get like a very strong introduction where someone gets shotgun blasted in the gut, and basically they kill this entire family. However, there's something in the basement, and it turns out to be something quite big. And the film keeps on changing. You think the film I say the film changes every 20 minutes. It starts off as one thing and then changes to something
Hmm.
else, and then it just keeps on going and going. It's like, what is going on? What is happening? It starts off as like a revenge film and gets into something quite bigger. It's not a nice film. It's definitely a hard 18 for sure. But it kind of keeps you on your toes. I would say for
Okay.
sure. But it's very good. It's very very good. It's just not an easy film to watch. So you need a strong stomach for it. It's one of those French films, and they don't care. They're the French New Wave at the time. If you've seen
Hmm.
Frontiers or any of those kind of films, they went big on that one. It's one that I really like. They did do a terrible remake, which you should never watch. America tried to do it, and it was awful. It's terrible. So yeah, the original
Okay.
Martyrs
Okay.
is
Noted.
one I
Hmm.
would say. The two that I would say just on the back of that, just to kind of add on to it, is one is American Psycho, or when I was younger, that made me cry and that really scared me. I love that film now,
Mm.
obviously, but when I was younger,
Yeah.
I
Christian Bale,
saw
so good.
yeah, he's so good in that film. He's so terrifying as well.
Mm.
And it's the scene where he's in basically running around the hotel with a chainsaw. I think I do tell this
Mm.
to a few people where like I think he was on Channel 5. I saw it when I was like late at night, and it basically made me cry. And I remember that memory in my mind. It was just a really intense sequence and something I wasn't really expecting or should have been really watching or shouldn't have been aware of, but it just happened to be on TV. I saw the scene and yeah, it really messed me up a little bit. Um, but I love that film now, obviously, because it's just great.
I
And
can
then
remember
the
going to
last
cinema
one,
to see that. Giving
yeah.
away my
Oh,
age now.
you saw it in the cinemas. Wow, that's an interesting one. Yeah, a lot of people didn't like it, I think, when it came out, so I'm not too sure. I think most people like
Yeah.
it now. I think they are doing a remake, but more
Oh,
based on the book,
really?
than the
Oh,
actual.
yeah. Some
Yeah.
nasty bits in the book, so I'd be
Yes,
interested
it
to see if they
is.
go
So
that far.
I'd be curious to see if they can do those sequences from the book because they are a bit more hardcore.
Yeah, you might
And
get the
one,
animal rights people onto you. Oh.
see how they pull it off, maybe. But and then one of the last ones I'd say is Twin Peaks Firewalk with Me. I would say that is a really, I said it's a strong film for many different reasons. It's a horror film. I'd say it's a beautifully haunting, messed up film. I don't think I've ever seen a film quite like that where I've been terrified and kind of like, and also happy at the same time. And that's kind of David Lynch's magic. Like he can mix those kind of feelings from you. And if you watch this TV series going into that, it's a bit of a whiplash because the tone is very different. But it's a quite rewarding film again for many different reasons for the story of Laura Palmer. But the film is quite, it plays with sound, it plays with imagery, and it's quite unsettling and very haunting, but also very beautiful and happy at the same time. So it's a mixture of emotions with that one. But they're the ones I would say is the ones that kind of messed with me a little bit, or messed with my emotions, than more than I like them to do.
Okay, that's excellent. Some more for us to note down there. Probably I'll be the one that want to delve into that. My sensibility is a little bit more blunted than yours.
Yeah,
but
don't really.
yeah.
don't really
Okay. So number 20. What is the thing you're most looking forward to in the year ahead?
Again, it's probably another cop answer. I've already kind of given it already because it's the holiday. I'd say the holiday to Egypt is definitely the one that I'm looking forward to. It's been long overdue from the nightmare last year with the house going on, with just from the stresses we've had. So I think that one is, we made a decision, me and my partner, we're going to make sure we do it, get the passports, make sure we have the savings, and we make sure that it just happen because we definitely need it for sure.
Yeah, definitely
So I
well
think
earned.
it's the one that I want to happen and the most to look forward to the end of the year. Absolutely.
Okay, so we've got ideas for who we're going to have on next, but what I want to know is, do you have a question for them to change the rotating question number 2? Have you got a question at the minute?
Yeah, I wrote one down. I'll say, name a film where you love and enjoy, but everyone else hates. So, a
Oh, I
film that.
Oh,
see.
that's a good one. I'm not going to want to replace that one. No, that's
I
great.
didn't say
Okay.
general questions if you want, but yeah, it's one that I always find quite interesting because everyone's got that one film that
Absolutely.
they love, but everyone else hates it.
Yeah.
You're absolutely right. Well, thank you so much for this. This has been our first episode of Within the Asian Cinema Circle, which is primarily for our podcast, but it will go up on YouTube too, this episode, because Andrew's given his consent for that.
Yeah.
Really enjoyed having you on, Andrew. How was it for you today? Did you enjoy this?
Yeah, thank you for having me on. It's been really fun going into these questions and just exploring a bit more about showing some of my tastes and some of the people that don't get to see that usually in the Hong Kong content I do. But yeah, thank you for having me on, and yeah, it's been a blast. It's been really fun.
It's been our
Oh,
pleasure.
brilliant. Yeah.
Yeah,
You're
absolutely our
welcome.
pleasure. And for everybody that's watched today, thank you very much. And if you did enjoy it, please give us a thumbs up. It's the only way we really get to know if people are enjoying this. So if you want to see more of these, please watch, please like, please share, please subscribe, not just to us, but to Andrew as well. If we're making these episodes and these podcasts for us, like somebody akin to baking cakes, if they keep baking cakes and you only take a nibble and you leave it to the side, eventually you're going to stop baking cakes. So bear that in mind and, try and digest it properly as it should be. And if you do and you enjoy it, then that gives us reason to carry on and do more. And that's all we can really ask. Any last words, Shaz, before we go?
They just said it's been great fun.
Andrew, would you like any last words before we go?
No, just thank you for having me on, and yeah, make sure if you are watching this, subscribe, comment, and like HKB.
Well, thank you very much, everybody. And thank you to our very special guest, Andrew Amphlett. And we'll catch you guys on the next one.
See you later, guys.